Hello, welcome to the lesson on resonance. This is going to be a very brief overview of some of the exercises that you can use for practicing your resonance positioning. So let's first begin by just doing the kind of gentle, devoiced exhalation exercise. That is going to be trying to mimic those sounds of those big dogs or those small dogs, but through very gentle sort of breathing. So let's first try and mimic the sound of the larger dog. Think again like something like a husky or a Saint Bernard or something. That's going to sound like this. Right? Quite large. If we're trying to get the sound of a smaller dog sighing, like a Chihuahua or a Pomeranian, that's going to sound more like this. Right? Quite a lot brighter. So if we were to try and shift between those two sounds, it might sound something like this. Right? You want to be careful as you're doing something like that you're not overly tightening things, because when we're whispering, we can get quite tense and not even realize we're doing that. And as you heard there, it's very easy to change the vowel, right? I started on an O and wound up at an ah. So we want to try and avoid both of those a little bit more. So we're going to move into the next phase of this exercise set, and that is going to be to try and using just a regular whispered word, try and get these sorts of shifts happening. So the words we'll be using for raising or brightening is cat, and for lowering or darkening, the word will be coat. Let's start with the raising exercise. So we're going to start with a nice dark sound, and then while repeating the whispered word cat, we are going to be trying to brighten the sound. That will sound like this. Cat, 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 cat. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Check, check, check. Right? So by the end of it, you should have a voice that's quite bright like that. Again, still in the whispered position, so don't worry if it's not sounding 100% how you want it yet. Let's go ahead and do the inverse version of this now. This is going to be the lowering exercise, and this is going to be now using the word coat. To do this, we're going to start at that same bright position, and then we're just going to invert the direction of the exercise. It will sound like this. Coat, 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 coat. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Check, check, check. So as you can hear, two sides to the same coin. One is darkening, one is brightening, and it's just a lot easier to hear those darkened and brightened sounds off of coat and cat respectively, hence those words. It also helps us make sure that the vowel isn't changing, because if we change the vowel, right, in a brightening exercise, it'll likely go from cat to Kate, and you will notice that. And with coat, it is likely to go to cot. And again, you will notice that. And then you'll be like, oh, okay, so it's not the resonance that's shifting in the way I want it to in the voice gender context. It's my vowel that's changing, right? Still a type of resonance, but not the one we're after. So let's go ahead and move this into the final stage of this exercise, and this is going to be to voice the words, right? So it's going to be, again, exact same movement as before, but now you're going to be voicing the sounds. This will look and sound like this. Cat, 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 cat. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Check, check, check. And now the inverse direction. Coat, 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 coat. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Check, check, check. When you're practicing this, you'll want to make sure you have a very monotone pitch as you're going through this. If your pitch is starting to change and waver at all, it will make it a little bit harder to hear the sound change in relation to resonance, and you may accidentally be changing just the pitch and not actually changing the resonance. So be mindful of that as you're practicing. It is also worth practicing this like in other contexts too. So when you're getting more comfortable with it, think about trying to use other words. Think about trying to change resonance across sentences. But when you're just getting started, it's a good idea to just keep it to those simple 2 words: cat for raising, coat for lowering. Alrighty, that is going to do it for this session. Thank you for listening in, and can't wait to see you in the next one. Take care.